Welcome to your longest running Australian wrestling podcast, Wrestle Radio Australia. My name is Lachlan Albert, and I am sitting down with the undeniable, the retro kid, the dread fool himself, Bobby Bishop. Bob, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, you son of a bitch.
Had to get a jab in early, right? So let's talk about that. Right, we've spoken before, we've done an interview, but we wanted to kind of drill a little deeper because we know each other a bit.
Yeah.
You've got a lot to say about wrestling.
I never shut up.
That's what I've noticed. So you've been in this for, what is it, 9 years now?
10 years.
There you go.
I'm getting into my 11th year. Yeah, I think it's like...
I don't know, man. I've been hit the head a lot.
So, can you tell me what you think the biggest changes have been over like a decade-long career coming into wrestling in Queensland?
I think it's just the general vibe of wrestling. Like, wrestling was such a niche thing. It still is, but like, just a sense of coolness behind it now. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like when I started in there, it was like wrestling. Okay, but now it's kind of like wrestling. Oh. And then they watch it, and they'll watch clips on my thing, like, that looks kind of cool, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, this general vibe has changed. I think it's also changed as much as the people's perception of wrestling, thanks to WWE, the TKO thing, and like coming to Perth, making it a big deal. Like, a lot of shows are benefiting from that. I feel like it's also changed just the wrestlers themselves, like taking it a bit more seriously, or just having more fun with it.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that I've noticed changing is kind of the opening up of like how mental health interplays with wrestling, right? We've seen
absolutely.
a lot of spots where, you know, it's become acceptable to talk about mental health and how people are going. So like, let's be real here. How are you doing at the moment?
Terrible, honestly. I'm always I'm the worst person with that. I mean, I will stay strong, and like, when I say strong, that's probably the wrong word. Pull it off by pushing it away temporarily. But what I do is, like, I will be busy for like 10 days in a row, and I'll have this building up, and then I'll have one burnout day, and that is my therapy to push through it again. There's never a break, unfortunately, with my schedule and wrestling. In regards to like general mental health, like in the locker room, it's a lot easier to control when you realize how I act to people may affect their mental health. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and like I see it playing out backstage where you see people interact and you're going like, that's an interesting interaction.
Yeah.
How is that person doing?
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I feel like there's a lot of people in wrestling, and I'm one of them, because if I lie right now, my partner will see it, and she will murder me for lying about it. Basically...
She's got her back.
Yeah. No, honestly, like, with the mental health, and a lot of people don't identify the toxic things they're doing to themselves. And wrestling is toxic in a way. It's a bad relationship. It's like a toxic relationship. There's great times, and then there's terrible times. And the terrible times you ignore because the great times are fucking great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And kind of like on that train of thought, I want to talk about coming into wrestling from different perspectives. Obviously, we've talked before about how you're a trainer at the 3 Count Academy.
Yeah.
You're the head honcho there, you know. So there's a lot of people who are coming in from different places in the world, and you've got your own, things that you're coming into wrestling with. So what's it like being you have ADHD, is that right?
Yeah, 100%.
So like, how does that kind of affect your outlook on wrestling and affect the way you wrestle? Do you think?
Well, I'm very hyper-focused on wrestling in a way. I guess the best way I can describe it is I'm lucky that I'm a very we call it a people person. I can...
Very personable.
Thank you. Look, I just had a match. Thanks, BWA. Barcode, sign it. With me being a people person and being approachable, I try and talk to people, and I know people I see signs all the time what type of person they are, and I ignore it because generally it's not my place to point out their flaws. It's their job to figure it out as time goes on. If their flaws start affecting people in a way where it's actually upsetting them or it's mentally straining them, then I will actually call it out. But the problem is, like, some people we have people who come in who might have Tourette's, for example, and yeah, he's a bit of a... Where is he, by the way?
He's not here today. I haven't seen him.
Yeah, oh my God, he's not here.
Damn it.
Okay, back to this. I better message him and see if he's okay. Yeah, we have like a kid who has Tourette's, and like he's a lovely dude. He's a bit very ADHD, hyped up, but you know, like he's just he's just a sweet boy. He means well, and even when he says things that may sound outrageous, I just remember he's a part of something that's exciting.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I was excited when I was in my first year of wrestling.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like recently, I'm not going to go into what caused it. There was a discussion that needed to be had at the school because conflicting personalities were in the school. And I had to have a meeting with a lot of the new guys and some of the old guys. And I blatantly just told them, like, whatever problems we have with each other, that has to stay outside the door. Like, we have to be better when we're working together. We don't have to be friends outside. I always say, like, the training school is not a hub to make friends. You can be friends with people and become friends with people, but you can't be in there with like, oh, I'm just going to be friends with everyone. Because wrestling... It's
not a social group, it's a wrestling school.
As I said in the meeting, like I said this, but I also said in a way like, we are part of the greatest drama, theatre, sports in the world, and we should fucking treat it like it is.
Yeah,
Do you know
absolutely.
what I mean?
Absolutely. And like, speaking of, we're here today, we're at the Gold Coast Viral Food Festival because PWA has been putting on these festival shows yesterday, today, tomorrow, there's going to be more. And you're one of the people who is kind of overseeing that along with some of the guys from PWA.
Yeah.
What has it been like to kind of transition from a role where in the past you would have just been on shows to now being the person that people come and ask about shows, and including like people who might have more experience than you?
It's a different thing altogether. So like, I used to think that like, if you're the most experienced wrestler, you should be in charge. But then as time went on, I realized, wow, I'm older than most people. So my mindset on things that are stupid, don't get me wrong, I do stupid things. I think my best quote I tell people is, in my outside of wrestling friends group, I am the dumbest, most stupidest person you'll ever meet. Then I come into wrestling and I realize, oh, I'm not that anymore. And I mean it in all love.
In a loving way.
In a loving way, I do. I honestly mean that. It just became much more apparent that like, oh, I'm an adult in this world.
Yep.
And as time's gone on, I realized, oh, I have to be an adult in this world because no one's doing it. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean everyone's here to have fun. So then when I started getting in charge of things, I realized, look, I'll be the adult that says no. I'll be the adult that calls things out. And if people don't like it, that's fine, because they're still going to have fun in wrestling. And I guess that's the weird thing is like, in wrestling, like conflicting personalities.
Yeah.
Different points of view of the world and stuff like that. The problem with these conflicting personalities is they seem to feel like if they have one transaction with someone that's bad, they take it personally. And that's another mental health problem with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know, they were dismissive to an idea. Some people might crash down into like, this person hates me. You know what I mean? It's a weird thing. And
being able to like manage those personalities and, you know, work with people rather than against people, you know what I mean?
100%. Like, and saying that, I'm in no way perfect. Like, there was a recent show where I went completely off someone and about doing the ring crew and all that sort of stuff. So then basically, there was this guy, it wasn't his fault. It honestly wasn't. Like, it was just, I had a really bad day and he just happened to be there. And I went off at him, and it wasn't until like 2-3 days later when I started to cool down, I realized, that was over the top. Like, you didn't need to do that.
Well, like, tell me if this sounds right, but it's like, wrestling as a whole is heightened emotion,
yes.
Right? And as wrestlers, you're there to play out this heightened emotion and engage with that, and sometimes that seeps in, and those emotions run hot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not easy pretending to hate someone, and then switch it off when you get backstage. Do you know what I mean? Like, the biggest problem I think in promos is a term that's like called popping the boys, and then there's also a term of work shooting. And I feel like sometimes guys, everyone's heard the term "don't work yourself into a shoot, brother." And I feel like, and I love calling this out when people do promos and they say personal things about someone, and then they get mad, like, bro, we're just doing promo work. Fuck off, you were. you were poking at him, so he would do this. Because, and they will deny it to the day they die, but the reason they did it is because they felt validated that they affected them with those words. It's intoxicating because you feel, in wrestling obviously promos are meant to emote emotion. So we're all addicted to getting a reaction at people. So if you start getting a reaction as your opponent, secretly most wrestlers just get a little bit like, ooh,
there's that little bit of juice in there.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm really good at this.
I'm getting the reaction.
Yeah. Yeah, dreadful, eh?
Yeah.
Shit.
Let's talk about dreadful.
No,
quickly.
no, scratch that.
No, so, but I mean, I want to talk about like who you are and the way your character informs who you are and vice versa, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're dancing around the Dreadfool is the, original masked gimmick that you worked, which it is what it is.
It is what it is.
These days you're working a character that is more, the statesman of Queensland wrestling, and that's coming after doing a nerdy character, and we've got, some interference in the background at the moment, and being able to deal with that like an adult. But yeah, so like, how do you think your growth as a person is influencing your character and vice versa?
So, sorry, Rufio completely
ruined that.
Tommy ruined that. So what was the question again?
So your character has always felt like an extension of parts of you, right?
Yeah.
And now we're seeing as the character evolves, how is the evolution of the character affecting you as a person? How much is you as a person affecting the evolution of the character?
Okay, so when I did Dreadful, I did it because I was...
So for anyone who doesn't know, originally Bobby was under a Deadpool mask, just being a Deadpool.
And I can explain this, and I love explaining this. I don't actually. But I was not forced, but told that I was having a match. And in wrestling, when you're starting out, it's very hard to say no. And I knew I wasn't ready. So I thought of an absolute dog shit, cheap gimmick to cover my face and cover the flaws. And it was like a parody of Deadpool, who's also a parody of a parody. You know what I mean? Like, it's just stuff like that. And that way, when I messed up, I can make it look goofy, like I was doing that. That was the whole idea. And I didn't care people hated it, because I was like, bro, I'm just doing this so I don't have to I don't expose who I am as a wrestler.
They don't see you and go, oh, I've seen him be terrible.
Yes, yeah. And I was still training. I was going to 3 different schools. I wanted to be better. So when I came back as Bobby Bishop, which, well, I didn't even coin that name. Some dude in a car ride who wouldn't shut up. And I mean, he talked so much.
Just constant.
Oh, it made me look good. But he wanted to run a show, and he was saying, oh, I want you to wrestle and be under Bobby Bishop. And I was like, oh yeah, man, I did that thing. You say, yeah, but you know you're not going to do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can do that, yeah. No.
We'll see if the dates line up. We'll see if I'm busy.
Yeah. And then he said, oh, we call you Bobby Bishop. And I'm like, oh, that's not a bad name, yeah. And then I remember when I got an opportunity to wrestle on a show that I really loved called Pacific Pro Wrestling. Now, Pacific Pro Wrestling never got numbers, but its wrestle talent base is amazing. You know, Istria, you have Adam Brooks, and you had Robbie, Davis, like all these guys, everyone was there.
Star-studded.
Yeah, it was great. Like some of the footage that's not been put out in a long time, oh my God, it's missing some great history of wrestling there. And I got to wrestle on there, and then that was the moment where I was like, okay, maybe I will use Bobby Bishop. And then that guy I never saw him again, so like, he never could stop me. And like, Bobby Bishop was just a goofball. I kind of kept the Dreadpool thing a little bit, but it was just in a way where I was like, look, I'm still green. And at the time, Queensland Wrestling wasn't really, if you're gonna call me out, I'm gonna call you all out, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then,
much as you had like Pacifica, who's got these crazy talent, you know, like then there was also a lot of, we've talked in the past about the state of Queensland wrestling and how far it's come.
Yeah, 100%. And the evolution, like the undeniable character, became undeniable when I was forced into a title match. And let me just say that, because I turned up and I was meant to have another match, and they're like, congratulations, you're doing a run out and winning the title at the end. And I said, I don't want to win a title. Why would you I said, why did you trick me into this? Like, because you would have said no, because you never won a title. And that's when I had to double down into a serious character called Undeniable. And basically, I used my own insecurities in the character in a way where it's like, no, I train fucking hard. I do this. I'm sick of people thinking that I just get on shows because I'm friends with the promoters and stuff like that. Like, I work just as hard as them. I network just as fucking hard as them. And you know what I mean? You train hard, you work hard, and no one can call you out because you are unfucking deniable. I'm gonna swear a lot, by the way.
Oh, it's on record.
And now, like the new one I'm doing right now, which is another part of my, not insecurities, it's more my like, I wouldn't say annoyances, but like, look, in wrestling, and this goes for any wrestler who's watching this, whatever drama you're talking about behind someone's back, they're hearing it, okay? They know what you're saying.
Yep.
And there's a lot of talk about me being a politica, me being a piece of shit, and me being, just an elitist and stuff like that. So my recent Wrestle Dad gimmick, I still use undeniable, but the Wrestle Dad thing you may see at Atomic, if you see me online talking like I'm being an absolute piece of shit, it's because that's the new gimmick that I've been merging in lately. And it's basically me being what these people think I am.
Being the politics, being the taking the spots away.
Yeah, and the worst part is for them is I'll do this on Atomic Pro Wrestling in Toowoomba, and the crowd fucking goes for it.
They love it.
They think it's the funniest thing ever. They think it's the funnest thing ever. They think this is a guy who has a lot of power and he's abusing it, but he's Charlie Sheening it. He's just
That's a great way to put it.
Absolutely emitting what he's yeah. I have one speed. Go. He's like the Charlie Sheen of wrestling in terms of that. The drugs. That's
really good.
Just the drugs is power. You know what I mean? And people love it. Like, I get the guys talking about like, and they throw jokes at me all the time about it. Like, oh, you could just take that guy's spot, you know?
I was like, yeah.
At one point, it did backfire once, and I got to tell the story. There's a lovely kid backstage called JJ Avery, and he won his title for the first time, or was about to win his title for the first time. And then I made the joke saying, like, I don't know, man, I could just use my political power and take that main event spot. Anyway, I turned up at the show and found out that I was indeed in the main event spot, and I had to immediately go to him, like, I went up to apologize. I'm like, hey, man, I told you so.
Good stuff. Look, I want to kind of start wrapping this up, but I did want to ask, you know, you talked about how you kind of didn't want to win a title.
Yes.
Right? It's not kind of where you are in wrestling. With that in mind, what is your end goal? What do you want to get out of wrestling? What do you want your character to get out of wrestling? And where do you want to be on the card, on which cards? Like, if you don't want to be a champion, what's the goal?
Well, okay, like, I don't mind being it's my perspective on titles has changed. I don't want to win a title because I want to win a title. I want to win a title because the story demands it. And that's why when I look back at my YBay ride, I don't hate it. I think it was good. I could see how it all led into it. The story we were able to tell while I was champ was great. Like, fuck, I killed myself for that title.
Yeah.
Like, for someone who doesn't want a title, the amount of fucking work I did with it was horrendously large.
As someone who was there for that Wide Bay run, you put yourself through the ringer with that belt.
Absolutely. I was going to other shows that were happy to let me defend it just so we can have content to put up about it, about me being the champ and building something. I would go get photos with it. I got it defended on PWA show. Yes, against Luciano in a wheelchair, but you know.
But still.
I beat the wheelchair guy.
That's right.
But I was just...
Bobby Bishop, wheelchair user beater.
Yeah, no wheelchair person can beat me. But yeah, basically, I was just trying my hardest with that, and that's when my perspective changed on it. Like, well, if I get the belt, I have to work hard and make it. I need to make sure the promoter feels like he made the right choice. And I don't mean like, demand who I'm facing, or you know, like that kind of thing, or be like, oh, I don't want to lose at this show, like that kind of thing. Like, I mean, absolutely. What do you want? Go to the booker and be like, what do you want out of this? Cool. I'm going to do my hardest to do what you want. Because at the end of the day, if you do that, you're probably going to get more belts.
Yeah, that's true.
Honestly.
That's true. If you're there for the good of the show and not the good of you, it pushes everything.
100%. There were, like, I was on a PWA show and they're like, oh, you're losing. It was like night one. I was like, you're losing the match. It was just after I won the YBay belt. And I was like, cool, I just won't bring the belt out. And I will just come out and I'll lose. Yep. Like, you obviously got to protect yourself. And there's ways to do it, which is something I get annoyed with other champs. Like, you can lose.
Yeah.
You just don't make a big deal that you're a champ on that show. It's like, and if you keep, and then you know,
or the loss should mean something, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's a non-title match to a guy who has my number, and that's going to be a story going forward. Like,
I mean, I lost to Mick Moretti and Adam Hoffman. Yeah, look, I'm going to be honest. They could probably beat me for the title. he's like, if I don't beat them, you know what I mean? And my new goals are also like, I would love to get on Coliseum tournament. Like, I've loved Coliseum since I first heard about it. It's more of a validation thing, and I know I understand it's probably not going to happen, but I can dream. And
That's the push.
Yeah, I want to like get in the tournament. I want to go to America once and wrestle on one indie show. I don't care for shit. You know what I mean? I just want to say I did it. I had to go. Those are my goals. My goal was when I realized this is back in WWE weren't hiring people near the 40s. I was 30 at the time. I knew it was too late, so I was like, well, I'm going to do everything they've done to get signed and feel that experience. Even if I don't get signed, it's okay. And then it sort of slowly merged into, I just want to do everything that people are doing in terms of like, people going overseas, have fun. Well, I want to tick that box once. People going down and wrestle in Melbourne, I want to tick that box once. And then it just became more like, I went to Sydney, ticked it off once, I was like, I really enjoyed that. I'm going to go back and tick it a second time, a third time, a fourth time. It's more just finding what I love in wrestling.
That's it.
I wrestled Danhausen, I know I brought that up in the last
so
one.
cool.
But I wrestled Danhausen, and I honestly, when I walked into that match, I was excited. And then I walked out of it and I was like, that was my favorite match. One of my favorite matches. And it wasn't because I did cool shit. I just love sports entertainment, and I thought that match was just so fun.
Yeah.
Like,
We were talking before, and someone called you the Lance Storm of that match, right? Like it wasn't you doing a whole lot of goofy stuff, but the crowd ate up what was happening.
Yeah, well, like, the critique I got was like, you were like the workhorse of the match, making him look good. And I was like, and I love when people say that, like, because I have no opinion on the thing, because my opinion is this. Even if you think I'm a better wrestler than him, and I'm not saying that, so if he ever sees this, I'm not calling him that. I'm just saying whatever people are telling me. But I will always repeat this. If someone goes, oh, you're a way better wrestler than Danhausen, I would be like, makes more money than me. Who's really the best worker here?
Yep. That's it.
Yeah.
Who's selling more merch? Who's selling more
merch?
tickets?
It's like, when people go like, oh, is Ric Flair the best wrestler or Hulk Hogan? And like, I know Hulk Hogan's a bit controversial, but just prospectively, back in the day, who's the better wrestler, Ric Flair or Hulk Hogan? Who made the most money? Hogan.
Yep.
Flair will even say that. Flair, the man who we consider as one of the best wrestlers in the world, goes, Hogan's better than me. Because he
Knew how to draw.
Yeah.
That's it.
Wrestling is not technique, it's star power, it's getting emotion from the crowd. And Danhausen beat me in that round. I have to be honest. I'm just gonna, Lance Storm be like, if you're gonna be taken seriously for a second.
Well, with that, I think the only way to take you seriously is to end the interview. So, Bobby, always a pleasure, mate.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Stick around.